want to go do some stock picks. S&P 500, which is maybe brave. Well, no in a year, but you're picking S&P 500.
Listen, you can't think a month or 2 weeks, or you've got to look down the line. And I think what's going to drive the S&P is probably the same earnings that drove it last year. I still think the earnings are very strong, and despite the hiccups that we're seeing now with failure of interest rates to come down and interest rates likely to remain, only 1 or 2 cuts, I think earnings is going to kind of trump that. Excuse the pun, but so I'm backing on earnings being the driver of the S&P. What would we see if it's maybe 10% this year? I'd be thrilled with absolutely 10%, hopefully 15%, but certainly not what we saw in 23 and 24.
Okay, no more 28%. So noted. Drikus, you're going with LandBridge. I've never heard of it before. Tell us the what, the why, and the how.
It's only listed, I think, in 2021 or 22. They own about 240,000 acres in West Texas in the Permian Basin, to be sure the Delaware part of the basin. And they're basically like a Texas-specific land company. So call up TPL on your ticker and you'll see what that, makes Amazon look like it's looking for parking. But same business model basically, but they're new kids on the block, and they've got gas royalties, oil and gas royalties, and water processing royalties. A lot of water is a big issue in West Texas and in New Mexico. And the third thing is they're going to build data centers there. They've just signed their first lease in 2024, a data center lease. So most of the US's AI, or so the company says, are going to be processed. And the data centers should be built in West Texas, which have got all the, the climate, the land values, etc., the energy, the water, everything they need, and a lot of fiber also going through that area, so latency won't be an issue. So that's the next step, for data centers being built there. First one being signed. We've made about 110% in the first 6 months that we've held it. I'm not discounting another 110% over the next 6 months, but if the thesis plays out, you've got a 10-bagger here.
Okay, a 10-bagger. David's just sitting there in wonderment. Absolutely, we all get to learn. That's all for Stockwatch today. Thanks to our guest, David Shapiro from Sasfin Securities, S&P 500, Drikus Combrinck from Capicraft, going with LandBridge. Up next, The Close. Stay watching.